If anybody doesn't know me already, my name is Paul Elliott. I go by Super BJJ online, and that's because I'm focused on kind of like the abstractions of jiu-jitsu, making things simpler. I don't do big, complicated moves. If you're bold with me, it may not have been the most exciting thing, but it probably wasn't pleasant. So my goal here today is effectively to change all of your jiu-jitsu in a positive way on both offense and defense. Anything that touches the arm, this is going to make a difference for you. And basically, like even the classes that I've taken here, every single class I've looked at through the lens of how the shoulder can be applied to the situation. And typically, the shoulder is underutilized, even among black belts. So what I want to do is give you a better appreciation for using your shoulders in more times. And the rules are actually really, really simple. So what I want you to do, just get in a comfortable position, probably on your knees, but what I want you to do is there's two motions that we're going to use here. We're either going to be bringing our shoulders back and down, right? So you'll have a pinch between the shoulders and a pinch of the lat, right? And the other motion is forward and down, okay? So that's basically the entire class. The entire class is showing you how to apply that in different situations. Okay? So since everybody likes to think about attacks more than defense, we'll work on the attacks part first. And show how using your shoulder is going to make all of your attacks better. So can I, right, and back. So just shutting back and make the record. The straight ankle lock. We're used to seeing straight ankle lock where you're like, okay, we're going to lean back and like look over our shoulder and all that kind of stuff, right? That all feels pretty normal. Right, we're here. Try not to do it on your leg. So we're here, leaning back. Okay. Felt normal? Okay. So if I apply my shoulder back and down, so I've just gotten a submission just with my shoulder. Imagine what happens if I set my shoulder back and then down and then use my body. Because what's happening here is I'm building structure between my arm and my shoulder and my body. Right? When I lock my shoulder back and down, now everything I do related to my arm is automatically tied into my body. All right? So that means even when things, I can be here, grab my arm, right? This looks like he should be in pretty good shape, right? If I go back and down, he can control this arm, but he can't control my shoulder. Okay? And even without that rack, I'm still able to apply a lot of pressure to the ankle, right? Crushing pressure too. What's that?
You're going also with shoulder.
This is all shoulder, 100% shoulder. Right, so even, right, just there, yeah, back, yeah, right? Like any little bit of hip, anything else, everything gets magnified. Okay. So if you took Chris's class, right, he was talking about having that good posture here. And he was talking about in terms of power. Yes, that's one way of looking at it. If I tie my arms into my back, I can generate power with my body very easily. But I prefer to think about it as structure. Right? The more I can structure my arm and shoulder, and the more that I connect it to my body, the more effective everything is going to be. So yes, it is about power transmission. But it's all about also about that structure. As we get further into this, you'll see more of that. So what I want you to do is I want you to just do a straight ankle lock. Everybody knows how to do that. Do a straight ankle lock however you like. You know, if you're like a black belt, don't even wrap. Just focus on, I take shoulder back, and then down. Really exaggerate it, back, down. You'll feel real heavy pinch between your shoulder blades and in the lap. Okay? Yes?
Tucking the elbow at all, or are you just focusing, like, you worried about the elbow position, or literally just...
It's mostly the shoulder. Yeah, I mean, your elbow is going to naturally, because generally what kind of happens is your arm will tend to rotate out a little bit as you're taking your shoulder back and then down. The elbow position will make more sense as we get deeper into it. It's not a primary concern, but it's going to come up. All right, so let's just try that. And if you haven't been in my class before, we'll do the clap, but the class isn't to teach you any particular technique. So if you have trouble with the finishing mechanics of something, just go back to something that you're more familiar with, or play. You can all pretend you're purple belts today and ignore what I tell you to do. So, and that's completely okay. What I care about is that you use your shoulders more. So if you have an idea, hey, there's this other technique, or you want to play with something from one of the classes, like one of the ones that I found particularly interesting. I'll talk about it for just a second. So it was on, like this. No, these. So like this kind of a position here. So go ahead, slow out a bit. Right. That feels pretty normal to you? If I take my shoulder back and down, right? Sprawl out. Sprawl out.
That's one guy when that miss.
Right. It feels like you're going into a steel part there. No. Right? What are you again? So on your back, hit that way. Hit that way. I know you're perfect, but hit that way. I didn't even like myself as a purple belt, so it's okay. So let's take another scenario. We had the ankle in our armpit. Now I'm going to have his wrist in my arm. And just a simple step over arm bar. So here, step over. And usually when people finish step over arm bar, they're driving their hips in. But you see, I didn't move my shoulder at all. If I move my shoulder back and down, I don't have to do anything. Back, down. Right, so imagine, again, what would happen if I actually put my body into it. Now that his arm is completely connected, I almost can't put my body into the submission. Okay? So I'm going to give you another sample because I want you to have options on what you do, what you work with. Another example is these. Another example is, oh look, there's his neck in my armpit. So I'm just going to, everything comfortable? Yeah. From back to down. Like not getting my body into it at all. Back, down. All right, so we've got a step over arm bar, and we've got a guillotine. Pick which one you want to play with. Right? I don't care which one. What I care about is you focus on what your shoulder is doing on the attack. So just like the ankle lock, just like the step over arm bar, just like the guillotine, focus on what your shoulder is doing. Okay? Any questions? All right? So that is, we talked about on offense, specifically submissions, and back, down. Now, another scenario that we have is during stand-up. Can I borrow you that? So if I've got a Russian title, right? We're here. I want to break his posture. All this feels normal, right? So I want you to posture up. Let's go back. That was a little too easy. Posture up. Okay. I'm going to take my shoulder forward and down this time. Here. Posture up. Nice. Right. instead of him able to pull my shoulder back and twist my body, by engaging my shoulder forward and down, it feels like he's lifting up my entire body on this now. And I can focus the pressure, right? When I just had hugging in tight here, like trying to pull in the air, you have that nice broad surface to work against, which felt easier when you're dealing against a big flat surface. That's easier to push against than a little tiny point, right? Even flexion, like that. Every purple belt's exactly the same. It's like a cookie cutter.
It's not my third language.
It doesn't matter. Like, not even a little bit. So, for example, if he is rolling up into me, right? If I push him down, stay strong. If I push him down here, right, versus push him down here, right? So turn on your side. Easy. Turn on your side. Yeah, and you have to lift my whole body. Okay? So now we've got a Russian tie where we can focus the pressure with our shoulder, and we can focus pressure going forward. Anytime that I want to pin something, I'm going to be bringing my shoulder into play. Like, for example, my class from earlier this week, one of the safety positions was here. It's not just like this, bridge. Yep. Turn on your side. Yep. Go.
Easy.
Right. Go.
I cannot turn over to the other side.
Right. So we're trying to increase the pressure by saying, okay, let's make a little tiny spot. Right? Not this big, huge piece here, this little tiny piece here. Okay? So there's two more examples. You can play with either one. Or if you have something else where you're like, hey, here's another scenario where I'm pushing my shoulder into somebody, then play around with it. Right? I don't care what you do. I care that you pay attention to what your shoulder is doing. So if, like, for example, if there was a technique from earlier in the week from anybody that involved this motion or pressing into somebody, then by all means. Right? Even stand up, please. Like, even if I'm on here, I'm going to, like, which would you rather have, me here or in there?
Large.
Okay? Right. So go play on this offensive side, because the next half hour is going to be all defense. Pretty fun too. But was there anything on offense that you had a question or
It's
comment?
very nice rocks in north south.
Was there?
In north south, it's rocks fastest.
Well, yeah. Well, and here's the thing: once you're paying attention to it, like even like a head and arm triangle. Can I borrow you for a second? Actually, no. Let me borrow you since you talked up. you volunteered.
What?
So if I'm doing head and arm, right? I'm pushing, which means I'm not just here and trying to apply pressure. I'm also here and trying to apply pressure. Right? It's a different feeling. You know, I can get more airway involved and bring my shoulder forward and down. And also helps lock everything in. Right? So again, if I'm pushing, shoulder forward. If I'm pulling, or I have something in my armpit, back and down. Any other comments, observations, questions?
Somebody go. That the underworking of the look of that which one great which I will have stronger like so.
So, So show me precisely.
So like, if you want to talk about like what's better, underhook or overhook, and it's like it depends. If I have an underhook like this, mine's better. But if you have it like this, yours is better.
Right. So if I have the ability to
Yeah.
drive that forward, yeah.
This sucks.
Right.
You-
If I'm back here, but I may have like here. If you want to pull me around, right? Let's switch. You switch over this side. So if I want to pull him around, right? See how my shoulder is back right now, and I want to basically off balance him. If I pull forward, stay strong, strong, right? If I bring my shoulder forward, I want to push forward and down. Because it lets me generate more power because now my arm is tied into my body. When I bring my arm forward, down, this is all tight right here. And just me turning a little bit is enough to start to pull you around. But if I just try to go with my shoulder, I'm not going to win against your body. Right, so again, you can look at this as power generation, but I like to think about it more as structure, more about tying things together. Okay? Now, where that gets really interesting is when we start talking about defense. Okay? This is magical once we start applying these principles to defense. So, for example, can I pull you? Get mounted. Okay, so I want you to expose my elbow up here. Right. Yeah, walk that out. Just do what you normally do. That feel pretty normal?
Yes.
Okay, go back. I'm going to take my shoulder. I don't care where this is. My shoulder's going to go back and down. Can you do it? Come on.
If that's the point, I know your body, but not your arm.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. You have to move my body. Right? And the cool thing about this is that below black belt, people are going to commit to this really, really hard because they can't believe it's not working. Okay? Right? So you're like, oh, I'm going to make this work, I'm going to make this work. See ya. Right? You should be able to hold them off for 10, 20 seconds. You should never use it for more than 3. All right? If you spend all your open mats holding onto this position for 30 seconds, your shoulder's going to be sore. Your back's going to be sore. Ask me how I know. But if your goal is to only, and this is a general thing in jiu-jitsu, anything that you do defensively should only need to be there for 3 seconds. If you don't have a path out, then your defense wasn't good enough, right? So yes, make their life miserable for that 3 seconds and then go, right? You're on defense. The best thing you can possibly do is make it your timing, right? If you leave control of the situation completely in their hands, you're going to lose. But if you slow them down, you take away what they want, force them to commit to it, and then it's your timing. Because like there, you're pushing on that, and then everything went away. Yeah, exactly. Right? Now, typically what happens with black belts when I get in that situation is they push on it, feel that it feels unusual, and they're like, nah. And they just stop. They move on to something else. They're like, okay, I want to choke you now. But we've got answers for that too. But for right now, what I want you to do is I just want you to play with just this one thing. I want the person to walk that out and do what you would normally do. Don't try to set your elbow, just try to keep your arm strong. And then switch to back, down. Don't worry what's happening out here. Right? This is all about what ends up happening at the elbow. It's like tying in my upper arm to my body. Okay? All right. All right. Just go ahead. Yep. Everything that you're going to do. Right, talk about spine. Okay, look. His hips had to get up to my shoulders. Yep. Man. So, if he wants to push on me, what does that mean my shoulder has to do? Right? Sure, go ahead, use your hip.
Use it.
Right?
Just hang out there.
Right? If you can't use your hip to move my elbow, you can't get the arm bar.
Out. Out. Oh, stop talking.
Right, so I'm locking everything in and making it so it's very, very difficult, even for his hip, to move my arm. I can't remember the last time I got arm barred from the mount. And this is another case. The less experienced people, they're going to fight that all day long. The more experienced people are going to say, you know what, I need to choke this person. Right? I mean, you know, if you can't get your shoulders, or you can't get your hips up to the shoulders, you got nothing. All right? So play around with this. We're just on our back, we're bringing our shoulder forward and down, and trying to really focus on the bone of the head, right? If we can lock into that, then their hips are not going anywhere. Okay? Try that. So, yeah, mostly no gi. More fun with gi, but we'll show both. I'd like you to take my back here. Sliding collar choke.
Yep.
Completely normal. Okay? So, grab my gi. Sliding collar choke. Come on, get it. Really, get it. Everything you got.
Can I move?
Yeah, go ahead. Back and down. Now, if you're no gi, so there's a choking arm, right? I want to pull on it, and so back and down, right? And even this, back and down, right? Do something. Here, I'll give you this one. Good. Yeah. Give my neck. Give my neck. Give my neck. Come on, boy. Give my neck. Give my neck. There you go. I love that side. That whole.
Exhausting.
Yeah. All right, same thing, piece mount, trying to do a cross collar. All right, you get that, cool. Now, in this case, this obviously isn't going to do anything. However, this is what's choking me. And the first thing that's choking me is what I focus on. Right, so I'm here, choke me. I'm being so careful. Right. Or, for example, north-south choke.
I fell.
Right? Go ahead. Good. Choke me.
I'm not even close. What is?
Right, feels like you're working against a wall.
Yes. Don't have enough power to overcome this.
Right. Because you have to move my body. Right, once I get everything tied in here, now all the structure that I built, I turned it into something where you have to like, I don't know, break my arm or something in order to get that away from my back. And I'm not like out here, this is all tight. So we've got this bone structure that's doing most of the work here. All right, so whether they're trying to choke you, some choke no-gi, do a short choke.
So,
Right. Good. Come on.
perfect. Something else.
All right. Believe me? Try it.
That is the ground.
All right, so we've got offense and we've got defense, right? And the pattern kind of remains the same. If I want to pull something away, back and down. If I want to push into something,
Forward and down.
can anybody think of any other scenario? I mean, like literally, take a technique that you learned from classes this week, and see if we can make it more effective. I mean, because I can show you examples of this literally all day long. Because every single submission that I use my arms on, this comes into play. V-locks, various kinds of arm locks, it's just, it keeps going and going down. So pick something and ask a question about it.
Remember working on the place without the need to like show me that now or remember to exercise today.
Yeah, if you're trying to pull things, it's always back. If you're trying to push things, it's always forward. So I'll keep saying that because that's really all you have to pay attention to. Are you trying? Or let's take another example. If I'm inside your closed guard, right? One of the first things that you'd like to do is you'd like to bring this arm across, right? Oh, let's go back. So I'm just gonna have like normal, not normal for me, but go ahead and pull that across. Right. Shoulder back and down. He's trying to pull on that sleeve. What? Okay. Back.
Down.
It's just push or pull. That's my back. My pecs, they are for pulling things forward. My back is for going back this way. Right? So this is all bringing my shoulder back. Everything across my chest is relaxed. The only thing that, like if I'm in the closed guard, I'll have some engagement here because you're trying to twist me, right? But because my whole body is tied into my arm, right? Yes, every time you pull here, you might feel a little bit of twist in my body, but I'm using my whole core to resist that. And some good stuff, but that's none of this. Any other scenarios? Head arm choke defense. Doing head arm choke too. Yep, so we're here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take my shoulder back and down.
Yeah. Okay, for something else.
So, funny story. I had a roofer friend that nobody could head and arm choke. I mean, like, I literally asked other black belts to do a head and arm choke to this guy. Nobody could do it because his lats were so strong that he could just do this, and the head and arm choke didn't work. Then you could do a punch choke, right? You know, so if the better they are at doing this, the easier it is to get access to the neck. So, yes, I can slow you down, but I still have to get out within 3 seconds. But bring my arm down like that, it gives me more ability to like start going up through here. Now, I will note, when you are using this in a defensive manner, anytime your elbow gets to here, I don't care what you're doing with your shoulders, your arm is weak. Anytime my elbow gets to here, I don't care what you're doing with your shoulders, your shoulder is weak, your arm is weak, right? So we have to stay out of these danger zones. We have to keep away from the center line, and we have to keep. This should be coming into play.
Yeah, and usually you look it's like in the stand up.
What?
In the stand up?
Yes. Yeah. Come on. So if I have a back body lock, right? If I'm like this, I'm not reaching forward with my shoulders. I'm bringing my shoulders back and down. Yeah, go ahead, push them out. Yeah, if I'm forward and like this, push it down. Right, anything that you can do to extend it farther forward just helps you. If I'm back here, it's very, very hard for you to push that down. Anything else? Do we understand the pattern? Right? If we want to pull on something, or they're trying to pull on us, like even grab my sleeve and pull guard. Right. See this? This is really bad for me. Grab my sleeve and pull guard. Right, if you can't get me to tilt my shoulders, everything that you're doing there isn't hard. Right, it's like you're pulling guard on for a wall. Again, he's trying to pull, no. So do we see that we have this kind of like general pattern between pushing and pulling and how we set our shoulders on offense and defense? We can prevent a lot of collar shots. We can prevent a lot of just no injuries just by getting the old band here, right? And then using it, ideally, for no more than 3 seconds, right? Because you will get tired. You can hold this for 20, 30 seconds. It's not a good idea, right? Any final questions? Okay, cool. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you giving me a chance to help with jiu-jitsu. Thank you.